things coming in for this month, okay? I feel like for many of you, if you have started a new job, if you are also currently at an existing job right now, I do feel there is going to be a huge uptick when it comes to your income earning potential. So I don't know if you're finding like a more productive way to ease the workflow, or you're working more hours, or if you're putting in more overtime, but I just see this huge uptick for you when it comes to your financial sector. Others of you might have started a new job that pays handsomely well, that is paying you above and beyond what you were making before. So you see this exponential increase when it comes to your earnings. And those people who run some type of a home-based business, who might be self-employed, working from home even, or working on a commission basis, you're going to start to see a huge uptick in your inventory, in your expanding your business, and as well in your financial sector. So I feel like financially, this is going to be a very, very good month for many of you out there. Others of you who are still looking for work, and I've been feeling this energy for the past few months. Others of you who are still looking for work, I feel like you're going to be able to land something, and it's kind of like a career, it's like a stepping stone type of a job that will help you boost your resume, that will allow you to reach for something further afield. So I feel like it's kind of like a bridge to get you to your destination. And I feel like the process might be slow, but when the job comes in, it's going to be like a resume, a career enhancing type of a job. It's a resume boost for you. And so stick with it. I feel like it's going to pay dividends in the end when you need that job, when you need the experiences in order to, leapfrog into another job with higher responsibilities, okay? So you have some really good things coming through in finance, in your career, and also in your professional life. For others of you who might have like fallen out of love with an existing job, I feel like you're falling in love with it again. So you're going to get a lot of positive reception from higher ups, from coworkers. If you weren't sure you were headed down the right path, if you weren't sure if you had all the skills and the technical knowledge in order to do your job well, you're going to get confirmation this month that you're on the right track, that you have the skills, that you are capable. And I feel like you're going to get a lot of positive reception from clients, from supervisors, from managers, getting really good appraisal, getting good recommendations, as well as people praising you, okay? So I feel like it's really going to rub your ego the right way, and I feel it's going to make you really happy, Aquarius. I'm sensing for some of you, there might have been a lot of struggles. Your work situation has never been very stable, okay? And there were a lot of shifts, there were a lot of changes, there was a lot of uncertainty, like internally and externally. So internally, it's more like you're going through this process. What do I want to do? Am I really happy here? Should I do this? Should I do that? Seems to me like a million ways in which you could make a living, and you're not really sure. Like, you don't want to be pigeonholed into one thing. And at the same time, you want a job that is stable, but you also want something exciting. So you are dealing with a lot of internal conflict within yourself. Like, what do I need to do? Where do I need to be? What location? What exactly the job that I can see myself, 10, 15 years down the line. And I feel like all of these uncertainties are starting to clear up for you as we head into the end of this year. And then for others, I feel like there were a lot of external uncertainty. The organization you might have been in, they're dealing with some leadership issues, and you might have had really high hopes for a job, like going through a job interview, and then you might not get the call back, mainly because that company, they're going through internal reshuffling. And so I just feel like there were just a lot of ups and downs, a lot of instability, a lot of just fluctuations. And this is the month in which, the dust starts to settle. This is the month in which things will really solidify itself for you. And a lot of choices are, those choices that don't really amount to anything, a lot of dead ends, they're kind of being pulled away, they're falling away, so that you can move forward with a lot more clarity as to what do I need to do now, what's my next step, what's my career going to look like, what are my goals for the future. So I feel like things are settling down for you guys, and I'm really happy to see this for you guys, because I can't imagine being an Aquarius walking around not knowing something, right? So this is, I feel, a really, really good pivotal month in which things are turning around for the better. And interestingly enough, we have a lot of major planetary aspects. We have Mercury in retrograde. We also have your ruler, the planet Uranus, going into retrograde as well. And let me just talk a little bit about that. Because Uranus is a planet of instability. It's a planet that basically it creates like a very massive disruptive shakeup in certain areas of our life. It creates, fluctuations, uncertainty, but major shakeups. So I feel for many of you, this is playing out in your relationship sector. And especially in relationships, and if you have been complacent when it comes to relationships, so for example, if you're in a relationship and things are just kind of like hanging on, just like hanging on by a loose thread, and no one is doing anything to change, I feel like the shakeup is going to be happening in your relationship sector for this month, where one party or both parties need to change, but I feel like it's your ruler. So the change is going to be required of you for this month, okay? And likewise, I also feel like if there are truths about relationships that you've been kind of denying or sweeping under the rug, those things are going to implode, and you can't really ignore them anymore, okay? So be careful about, miscommunication, temper flaring, and be careful about making decision on an impulse. And especially like if you're really upset, try to avoid making a major decision, because you're going to be, it's Mercury retrograde as well in conjunction with this transit. So it's not going to be good to make like decisions at the very last minute, or at least on an impulse, because we usually go back and have, buyer's remorse. And so I want you to be really careful about communication. I want you to be very careful about not operating from a space where you do things out of fear, out of like, where you do things because you're afraid to lose the other person, when in fact you might not love the other person. So, liking somebody and really loving somebody, these are two different things. You can like somebody, but if you're not in love with them, they might not be the right relationship partner for you. So confronting these issues, where you stand and where your partners stand, those are major, major themes coming through for this month, okay? And let me see if there are other messages coming through. There was this one thing that came up. They mentioned that you're turning over a new leaf here, Aquarius, and I feel a lot of it is, it's kind of like you pushing against the tide, pushing against the odds, making some really serious sacrifices in order to achieve financial stability. And for some of you, you have made these sacrifices. So that means foregoing income, really high income generating potential in order to go back to school. And now you're landing a really good job, for example. And then for others of you, sacrificing a relationship because deep down in your heart, the other person deserves more. And for whatever reason, you can't give them what they want. And so you're sacrificing, your ego to let the other person go, because you know that you can't love them, or you don't love them the way that they deserve to be loved. And so I feel like the difficult sacrifices, things are looking really good for you. And then for others who are still operating from an ego space where you're clinging on to a relationship partner because you don't want to lose them, even though you might not love them, or you're clinging on to situations and things, mainly because of, this perceived sense of security, because you feel like there isn't something better out there. It could be work, it could be relationship. You need to make some sacrifices. We need to close some doors so that new opportunities can come into the picture for us, okay? So just a heads up. I'm going to go into your reading, and then if there are things that, are problematic, then I'll be back for the mid-month reading to flush out those things, okay, if it comes up again. So let me just talk about your reading here. Let me talk about relationships, first of all. This card is usually, it's a karma card. And as it relates to relationship, it's a situation where somebody is going to be there for you through thick and thin. Okay, so it's sort of like no matter what, you can count on the other person. And no matter what, no matter how rough things are, even if you were to break up, for example, you know that you can call them, if you're stranded in the middle of the road at like 4 a.m. in the morning. And they're going to pick up their phone and they're going to come and get you, even if you have broken up, because you really do care about each other. So I feel some of you are dealing with this type of a relationship where you really, really care about another person. You really either really love them or you care about them. You want them to be okay. And there's an element here about being afraid to lose another person. So in a way, I feel like you love them, but they also can serve as your security blanket because you have this deep rooted trust in one another. And I don't feel like it's a bad thing, but it can go one of two ways, just depending on how you handle it. Because I feel like the important thing is for us to know, do we love the other person or do we just care about them? Are they easy to get along with? Do we have like good chemistry with each other? Do we just get along? Do we see things from eye to eye? Or is there romance and true love in the relationship? So I feel like you're dealing with these two energies and you're confusing the two. And Aquarius, I feel like many of you really value your friendships, and even after a breakup, you vow to remain friends. And so the lines between friendship, compatibility, and friendship, and true love, and chemistry, and passion, these two things need to be sorted out. And these two things are not the same thing. So if you're staying with somebody because, you care about them and because you've been through so much together, but the love is no longer there, or you're struggling to figure out, do I really love them or do I just like them? You need to make these decisions. And I feel like things are going to be coming up for examination for this month. And if you've kind of been deluding yourself as to maybe it's really love, I don't feel like it's going to fly anymore. Okay, so make these important decisions and try to sort out the relationships sector, because I feel like the spotlight is being shown on it so that you can understand what it is, how you feel about that person, and what it is that you need moving forward. I also feel like for many of you, there is a major reconciliation here with a relationship partner, and it looks really positive. It looks to me like you care about each other, and it looks to me like there's a lot of lingering love that's still in the picture. And it feels as if you have been in a long-standing relationship with this person. You've worked really, really hard at the relationship, and there were times where one person was, feeling the financial hardships. The other person stepped up and tried to shoulder the responsibilities. And likewise, there might have been times when one person was feeling, emotionally just distraught, and the other person really stepped in to provide the support for the partner. So I feel like a lot of you are in this, really loving, compatible, really loving, committed relationship. And this is the month in which feelings of securities are going to be stirred up within you. You're really afraid to lose the person, and I feel like your feelings about them is going to hit you like a ton of bricks. And you're not like I mentioned before, you're not an emotional sign, and a lot of the times you go through the motions without processing your feelings. And so situations will come into the forefront for this month, and it will dredge up these security issues, and you're going to feel like, I need to hang on to this person, I need to control the relationship, I need to, have things my way, because you are afraid to lose them. So just be very careful of the tendency and the need to control. Releasing control, releasing expectations, releasing even trust issues from past relationship, that is going to be very crucial for you, so that you can have, a more harmonious relationship, so that the other person knows that you trust them and that you both can work together, through thick and thin. Okay. So that's just my initial assessment here based on, the way the cards are falling out. Underlying these issues here, and I feel like some of you have recently broken up with another person, or somebody has recently kind of like left you out in the cold. Okay, so this is a small minority, I feel, of Aquarian people dealing with this. I feel like somebody came into your life and really, really, really loved you. This person really loved you. They gave it their all. And out of your sheer sense of stubbornness, your sheer sense of pride, I feel like you weren't ready to accept the love, because it was very deep and it made you uncomfortable, and it required you to change your ways in order to be with them. So maybe they wanted, like commitment from you. Maybe they loved in a way where it just was a little bit too claustrophobic, like they wanted too much alone time. And you're a very independent sign, so maybe it was just, too uncomfortable. It felt too claustrophobic. And you might have let that person go. Your feelings, like it's like you couldn't reciprocate. You couldn't reciprocate their feelings, and you let the person go. And now I feel like you're dealing with the aftermath of it, where you realize that person was actually really good. I want them back. And you're trying to communicate with them, and they're not in the picture. This is like being cast out in the cold. Somebody walking away from us. So I feel like some of you, very small minority, are dealing with this, where, a lot of issues when it comes to relationships overall are coming to light, mainly because we do have with a lot of planetary aspects in Leo, it rules your 7th house, which is your house of partnership. It's also your polar opposite. A lot of what you need to be happy in a relationship, a lot of security issues regarding relationships are being dragged back up, are being, I feel like, disseminated. Like you're dissecting them in your mind, and you're figuring out what really matters to you. So I feel like some of you who might have let go of a really good relationship partner are dealing with the regrets associated with that. Okay. I feel like some of you are dealing with that, especially if it's a recent person, like within the past 3 years. And then others, I feel like dividing up assets, splitting ways, and that's for like married people, long-standing marriage relationships. So I see like a hodgepodge of possibilities here, but I do sense that it's really important for you, Aquarius, to try not to control situations. Okay, try not to control people, try not to control situations, try not to have, things a specific way, because you can get a little bit neurotic when you have like a preconceived notion of how things are going to go, and in your mind it's going to go that way, and then if things even deviate just a little bit, it can create a lot of friction, and it can, stir up those, it can make you a little bit psychotic. So just try not to control, okay? Let things flow, be easygoing, be at ease, be willing to compromise, and be willing as well to open up a little bit, so that your partner doesn't feel like, they're on the defense when they're dealing with you, okay? So being open-hearted, being open-handed when dealing with a relationship partner, I feel, it's going to be really good for you, okay? So I apologize for the neurotic comment, but I feel that's what's happening here. This is a card greatly about clinging on so tightly to preconceived notions, to certain expectations, to people. And when you do this, it's sort of like you understand why you're doing it, right? But other people are just around you, especially people that you love, they don't understand it. And you don't explain yourself too. So that can also create a lot of friction in the relationship because they're just like, why are you like this? Why are you so difficult? Why are you so, fixed in your ways? And I feel like bending a little bit, it doesn't show any weakness. It just shows that you care about them enough. You care about your relationship partner enough that you can put your pride aside and to compromise with them. Okay. So that's going to be very crucial. And I feel like this is going to extend across romantic, relationships. But I also feel if you have a business partnership with another person as well, you trust your partner. But I feel like this is the month in which your work partner, like if you have financial linkages with another, like a business partner or work partner, or if you work with a partner in your, career, I feel like they're going to go through some financial hardships and you're going to be in a position to step up and even out the karma. So if in the past you've fallen on some hard times, this is the month, and your partner stepped up. This is the month where you reciprocate. Okay, so I feel like your partner, romantic or even business partner, is going to go through some financial hardships, and you need to be emotionally present, and you need to be a little bit more. I want to say, like, Aquarius. I feel like a lot of the times too. It seems to me like when you see it, then you believe it. But then the impact is not as strong when people just talk about it. But like when you actually see it, that's when it hits home. So for example, this is just an example so that you understand where I'm coming from. Okay. So somebody can tell you, I'm really struggling financially. Can you help me pay the electricity bill, for example? And if this is your partner at work or your partner in love, you understand the words that they're saying, right? And you will do it, but you won't really understand how much they're struggling. And so you would, step in and help them pay the electricity bill. But then when it comes to like, if they're struggling with electricity, they're probably struggling with food. They're probably struggling with rent as well. So taking what we know and applying it, more generally, more broadly across the board is going to be really helpful for you this month. So for example, if your partner, has falling on some hard times and they asked you like, can you help me with this? Whatever else that you feel you can help them with, ask. Okay, if you might not want to overstep their boundaries, and then they might not want to impose too much upon you, so they might not ask. But I feel like if they're struggling with one area, they're probably struggling with others as well. So it's really important for you to ask follow-up questions, and see where else you can be of assistance, because I feel like there are some financial issues that they're dealing with right now. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. Let me talk about other things that are coming into the picture for you that looks really, really good. First of all, we have here the Two of Wands. And when this card first came out, I was, they mention here a need to move, a need to relocate, a need to make like a major transition in your life, okay? And I feel like this deals heavily with the housing environment that you're in. So I feel like for many of you, you've been in one place for too long and you feel like you're gathering moss. And you're just like, I want to break away. I want to relocate. I want to live somewhere else. I want to make a major move. And some of you are afraid to make this move because your family members, your clan, your family unit is close by. So I feel like there's this push and pull factor coming through in your geographical location. On the one hand, there might be, security because siblings are there in the same city. Mom, dad are there. Cousins are there. Your social circle, your groups associations, they're all there. So it's easy for you to just stay there. But on the other hand, you want more. You feel like you have to relocate in order to get, in order to attend school, a really good school, in order to get new energy, in order to get the job that you really want. So you feel as if geographically you are being restricted from all of these things, and especially from success. And I feel like you're itching for this change. You're itching for this relocation. It seems to me like you're heavily thinking about it, but you don't really have any plans in place just yet. So if that's something that you really want, I feel like you need a strategy here, because I am sensing that you might be feeling this urge to just want to get out, do something different, wanting new things. But I feel like it's a very transient energy. It comes and goes. And so if you're serious about it, you need to formulate some type of plan. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck, you're going to be stuck dealing with this energy, wanting new things, but nothing is really happening. Like no actions are being taken from your end. They mention here a very spiritual household. And I feel like it means two things. A lot of you have this, you have like a lot of emotional support from your family members. But at the same time, the family unit, there might be a lot of restructuring where some responsibilities are imposed upon you in a very unfair way. You are a sign that I am sensing like, you don't inundate yourself with a lot of responsibilities. So that means you like to travel light. You like to come and go as you please. You like to be, in and out of an environment. If it gets too claustrophobic, if it gets too uncomfortable, you like to be out of there. So you don't like it when other people impose so many responsibilities upon you. Even family members, you care about them. And it feels like you really do care about your family members. And you might want to, if you're further away, you might be thinking heavily about wanting to settle down close to them. And if you're close to them right now, you might want to leave, but you still want to have the safety and the security of the family member, the family unit. And then others, I'm sensing there are a lot more responsibilities in the home. You feel very claustrophobic and you just want out, okay? So this energy brings up for me like children, new family members being added into the household. The space gets a little bit more cramped. Some of you might have many children and the responsibilities are piling on. The children might be growing and you might not have, the freedom to come and go as you please anymore because other people are relying on you, because the kids are relying on you. And then for others, elderly parents are now coming into the household and they're relying on you for things, okay? So I do sense a lot of like, just wanting to break away, wanting to chart new territory. And if you are in a position where you can do that without it adversely affecting the people that you love, definitely formulate a plan for yourself. Because I feel like new things are waiting, new love, new opportunities, kind of like falling in love with your life, new opportunities for you to venture out and explore. It's coming right around the corner for you. But you need to formulate a plan about how you're going to get from here to here, because the plan is not in order just yet, okay? And also, I feel like for some of you, geographically, if you're staying in a specific area, you might be blocked from success. So that means if you're looking for like a higher paying position, if you're looking for a specific position, like a specific field of work, geographically, you need to relocate. And I keep seeing this west to east relocation. So it could be across the continental US, west to east, or it could be overseas, moving in the eastern direction. So I feel like this is something that you need to do, and you are just, very, very stubbornly clinging on, okay? I would advise you to grab opportunities as fast as you can. If you're not really sure, like, how do I get from here to there? Look and see what jobs are offered. Look to see, what opportunities are available in the new location. And especially look to see where you might be able to shift, even though it might not be the ideal geographical location. Don't think like, oh, I don't want to live there because I don't want to be stuck there forever. You're not going to be stuck there forever. It's going to be kind of like a stepping stone type of a move, and it's going to be really good for you. Okay. So Aquarius, I feel like this is a month where there is a mixture, a big mixture of anticipation, claustrophobia, and also, relationships issues as well. I do feel that the energy is very good because it's forcing you to make a change. And I feel like some of you have been grappling with this decision for a really long time. You think about it. You sit and think and think and think, and you're not really making any moves in the right direction. Okay, so you're just thinking, you're living in your head, and you're not moving, you're not making any concrete action. And so the advice here is don't think about it anymore. Make a move. Just be done with it. Okay, so it's like ripping off that band-aid, just one swift motion, and just be done with it. So we need to keep moving here. And I feel like a lot of fear, a lot of stagnation also coming through. But you have some really positive things. You have a lot of support coming through. Family members, loved ones that are going to be able to give you guidance. Okay, so I feel like a lot of you need to make a move, but you're afraid that in the process of moving, you're going to lose a significant relationship. You're not going to be there for your family. So these are issues that we all need to kind of like form some type of a strategy in order to deal with them, in order to weigh out the pros and cons, and then figure out an appropriate course of action. Okay, so that's going to apply for different people depending on how you look at things. But overall, I feel like you have some really positive, reinforcement coming through, support, love, appreciation from other people, new love even, and new love coming through that will, I feel like it's bringing up a lot of fears in you, okay? Because you do have some issues from the past that you need to work through. So let me just go into your love reading and see what. So Aquarius, love, relationships. So they keep mentioning like no longer being stuck in the dark, no longer doubting your intuition, and no longer putting yourself in situations where you're dealing with a lot of uncertainty. You're coming into this month in your relationship sector where you are a lot more, I want to say like assertive and very, very concise about your expectations when it comes to dealing with other people. You're going to be very clear. I don't like it when you do that, and I like it when you do that, so do more of that. You're going to be very, very verbal and very clear when you're dealing with other people, and you're going to give them, a piece of your mind if you feel any transgression. So it's almost like no more Mr. Nice Guy or Mrs. Nice Girl. So I feel like you're going to exercise tough love for this month when it comes to your relationship sector, and kind of like demanding that the other person prove their intentions before you even entertain the thought of dating them, okay, for singles. So it looks really good, actually, Aquarius. So like no more BS is pretty much what it's saying. Like you're not stuck in the dark anymore. You don't have any self-esteem issues anymore. And so you're not settling for less, okay? Okay, so let me just talk about this. Let me talk about the past. We have here the Two of Wands, and we have the High Priestess. Some of you are in this long distance type of a relationship, and the long distance relationship, basically, It's indicative of, geographical distance where two people live apart. They come together, meet up occasionally, and then they drift apart again. So I feel like it's a long distance relationship where you really care about the other person and they likewise really care about you. I feel like for this month, the truth might come out about this relationship. Okay, so some truth is being revealed in this relationship, and especially if it's a long distance relationship. Um, you're getting tired of maintaining the distance. It's starting to dawn on you that, like this, I'm putting my life on hold, and the other person is also putting their life on hold so that we can sustain this relationship. And I know that you really care about the other person, and they really care about you too. But it's starting to become a little bit difficult. And I also feel like, you're looking at this globe here and you're wondering, what is the alternative? What is my life going to look like? Am I ready to scrap this relationship so that we both can free ourselves? Or can one of us relocate to where the other person is so that we can start a relationship together? So those of you in long distance relationship, I feel like massive reshuffling or restructuring in your home environment in order to accommodate the other person. So I feel like some of you are going to move to where they are to be with them. You might have talked about this briefly in the past, but I feel like this is the month in which you are going to finalize some decisions here, okay? So long distance relationship people, I feel like things are looking good and you both are coming together. Which brings us here to the present moment. We have the Nine of Coins and the Queen of Swords. And let me talk about singles because this just screamed out singles. The Nine of Coins, this is a situation where we are overcoming hardships, okay? Sailing over all the difficult patches in our lives, rejecting people that are not living up to their snuff, who make promises that they can't keep. And especially if they, it's almost like you're no longer dating because you want to fill the time and the void. You want to find high quality people. So you have turned down a lot of, I want to say like insignificant suitors because in your eyes, they're just, they don't make the cut. And so this is the epitome of, a single man or a single lady. So like the Bachelor or the Bachelorette card. And I feel like you're focused on your long-term goals. You're focused on your professional life. You're focused on your financial situation. And you're not really putting your feelers out there when it comes to dating. And I also feel a lot of you have dealt with this person. This is an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. And they mention, and it's really weird, I never get this message with this card, but if you look really carefully, she's kind of like two-faced. And so I'm feeling like you were dealing with this person who talked out of this, the other side of their mouth. They say something they don't mean. They might have been very, very deceitful or manipulative or kind of like duplicitous. And I feel like they, there's this sense about, them wanting to be with you because you're so independent that they felt it was like a conquest from their end. Okay, they have some work they need to work to do, and I feel like a lot of you have sailed away from this person. You're no longer keeping in contact. You're no longer talking to them, and you might have really cared about this person, but I feel that they really hurt you. So I'm feeling some of you are still dealing with that, and you're moving away from it, which is good. Okay, it's gradually moving into the past. And what you're thinking about right now, we have here the Five of Coins. And this is the card, when I shuffled it out, that's when they say no longer being in the dark. Okay, no longer lacking options, no longer dealing with insecurities or low self-esteem. So if you were with somebody who did not, treat you well, and especially who might have been very deceitful, it left you thinking like, why did they break up with me? Why did they do that to me? Was I not enough? And I feel like it really, really, esteem is getting a huge, huge boost. So we have here the Wheel of Fortune, which means things kind of like moving along for the better. You're rising from, this space of darkness and despair and feeling financial lack and feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough. You're moving away from this, and you're being kind of like your vibration, your energy is rising to this, okay? So Aquarius, this is a big, especially for singles, this is a big self-esteem boosting month. And I honestly don't feel like it has anything to do with other people. It's not like there you have a lot of suitors and then you start to feel really good about yourself. I feel like a lot of you have done a lot of work on yourself. There might have been a new job that, it brought about fortune, it brought about validation. So then you feel really good. But these are things that you did. These are things that are coming through to confirm to you how worthy you are. And so that you can, come out of this pit of despair after that breakup with another person and you felt like you weren't enough for them. So you're coming into your own, you're getting a big self-esteem boost, and you're going to feel really good this month, okay? So the foundation here is something that you know to be true. We have here the Six of Cups, and this is a soulmate type of a connection. This is a card about, being with somebody who really appreciates us, who really loves us. And they make like, really kind gestures in order to show their appreciation. So I feel like some of you are getting a lot of communication here with the Knight of Swords. You have somebody that is coming in. They're very spirited. They're very, I want to say like, they're very flamboyant about their displays of affection. And I feel like they can be a little bit more on the mushy end. Even though it shows up here as an air sign, I feel like for some of you, this is an energy of a person coming through. They're very clear about how they communicate. And if they need to get mushy and gushy, they're going to do that to show you how much you mean to them. And I wanted you as well to be a little bit careful, because the Six of Cups is a blast from the past. So some of you might be hearing from an air sign from your past, an Aquarius, a Gemini, and a Libra. And if this is a person that have hurt you in the past, you want to be careful about not, getting entangled in that, okay? But I do see some reconciliation. I do see an apology coming through here with the Six of Cups, because the Six of Cups is a very childlike energy. It can be where, people open up and they come in without any malice. It could just be an apology, a proper apology that allows you to understand, so that you can let go of resentment, so that you can let go of things from the past, and so that you can move on and, feel good that you have left that person behind. Reconciliation is not about getting back together. It's not about, rekindling the relationship. I feel like some of you are owed an apology and you're going to give the other person an apology. And likewise, I feel like if you have done something wrong, I feel like some of you are going to be inspired to, apologize to another person. Okay. So it's going to flow both ways, but I feel like energy, dense, residual dense energy is clearing up because things are looking a lot better and brighter for you guys. Coming into the future position, we have here the Three of Coins. And the Three of Coins is you and another person building a relationship, communication flowing really well. You are coming together in order to create something of value with another person. So I feel for coupled people, especially long distance people, and especially it's linked up here with the Seven of Cups. If you are dating, I feel like you have some solid options in the picture for you, and the person that you're dating, they want to take the relationship to the next level. So I have here an air sign. So this is brand new air sign, okay? Not anybody from the past, because you need to let that go. Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I have very strong water energy, water signs. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. They're saying here to cherish the relationship. Take things very slowly. If you're not prepared to rush into another relationship, just, give it some time, okay? Don't rush, because I feel like you've just overcome an ordeal, but you're trying to build things. You're trying to make things better. Long distance relationship people, I feel like it's looking really good for you. And I also feel single people that have been through the ringer, you're going to start dating again. And you have somebody that really, they're very sincere. They want to commit, okay? Best of luck for you guys, Aquarius. I hope this reading has been helpful for you. I do wish you all the best, okay? If you'd like to book a private reading with me, please visit my website below in the description box. Also, if you'd like to donate to the channel, it is greatly, greatly appreciated for you guys, okay? You have some really, really solid, very good things coming through in the love sector. So best of luck with everything. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.